What's up, guys? We are back with the Realness Lounge podcast, season 3. Let's go.
Yeah. Season 3.
Season 3. Oh my gosh. You know, I remember when I first filmed, I actually filmed with Marty. So shout out to Marty because he was actually my first episode. Like, I literally booked him and everything. So it's good that I'm actually reunited. And then we got Alfreezy in the building.
Yeah.
Alfreezy. Take it easy, Alfreezy.
Thank you for having me.
Then we got the Chris Sumlin
I'm
in the
here
building.
on a podcast, so happy to talk.
And then we got Laquan on here.
Yeah.
And then we got two new co-hosts, but they will be here until the next episode, guys. But man, it is so good to be back. We back. You know, it's not getting as hot anymore, probably in September or so. But you know, we're trying. You know, but man, I'm just so excited to have Alfreezy here. I mean, and Chris Sumlin. I mean, I met Chris Sumlin actually in 98.3 with Jay Still.
Yeah.
And literally, we just came out of the room and he was like, y'all want to take pictures? Like, that's your energy, right?
I try to be as warm as I can. I love people. Like, I'm happiest when I'm in spaces. I love talking to people. Like, I'm just a people person. I get it from my dad, and I just love people.
Yeah, and then we got Alfreezy out here. He's so dedicated with the content. Like, I'm like, man, he makes the dopest reels. I mean, what do you think it takes to be consistent with social media? Because, I mean, obviously, you know, we get kind of like, I don't want to film. You know, maybe sometimes we get into our mental health. We're like, oh, you know, do I really want to post today? How do you maintain that consistency?
Honestly, I think of it as like the gym, or like, because I used to play basketball when I was younger too. So I kind of think of it as that way. Like, where if I keep going, eventually the growth is going to start happening. Like, I'll schedule my posts, so I don't even recognize I post them, just so I don't really think about the post. I don't even think about the likes coming in or anything like that. I'm just sharing it just to show the love for the people I interview, or even for me.
Yeah, and then I noticed you go on an ASU campus a lot, and you like to, you know, interview people. How did you get more into that? Was that like your first starting point where you're like, okay, I'm going to start interviewing people going out? Because, you know, you guys see on TikTok when people go to clubs and they're like, how drunk are you right now? Like, what made you want to start doing that in campus? Because sometimes people can be like, well, what if people are watching me while I'm filming?
Right.
How do you kind of beat that anxiety with it?
Well, when I was younger, maybe like high school, college years, I always wanted to do it, but I never had someone to push me until I met Chris.
Dang,
Chris kind of like pushed me to do it. And then right after he pushed me, after the first episode of Taking It Easy with Alfreezy, I was like, okay, let me stay consistent with it because I kind of liked it. I was trying to just build up not only a name for me, but everybody else in Arizona, really.
Oh, that makes sense. And Chris, obviously, you had that. You can just tell that aura where it's like, I want to do me. I don't care who's watching. How do you adapt that mentality? Because I'm like,
well,
man.
It's interesting that people think that I'm confident now because I was bullied as a kid. Like middle school, like elementary school, I was not. I still sometimes don't feel like a cool kid. But one thing that we were talking about is like you have to just be authentic. Like that's your power is in your authenticity. Like the thing that makes you different, that makes you who you are. That's where your power is. So like even because like I'm very proud about the fact that I like Taylor Swift, right? So I went to Morehouse in Atlanta, all black school, all men. So I have friends I went to college with that's like, bro, why are you listening to Taylor Swift and you're black? And I'm like, because I like it.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Up.
And I feel like at the end of the day, people, they may not have language for it. They may not understand it. But when people see something real, they have no choice but to respect it. They're only going to be like, you know what? That may be a little different. That may not be for me, but I respect it. Because you can't, when it's real, it's real. And real recognizes real, you know?
Yeah,
straight up.
He said real recognized. What do you think about that, Laquan? Like, especially being authentic, too.
I stopped caring. I used to be a big time people pleaser, actually.
Right.
Like big time. Like even if I didn't want to do it, I'd just be like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And I know I don't want to do it. And if they cancel, I'll be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like just big time people pleasing, you know what I mean? And then once I let that go, then I got free. And I let that go like years and years and years ago. So like I used to go like sometimes if you know everybody gets cold sores and nobody wants to go to work or call out depending on how ugly it be looking, you know what I'm saying? So and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. Like, yeah, I got it.
Right.
But I'm putting the cream on there and just not caring. And once I started getting used to those like little things, just not caring. And then people were just like, man, I like it. People started to gravitate toward that. And I started to see other people not care too because it was just reflecting like a mirror.
And one thing I will say to that is it is a muscle. Like authenticity is a practice. It's not something that you just are.
No.
It's like a journey to getting there. Like there's definitely times where like I'll be at a dance party or a club and I want to dance. I'm like, man, I'm too nervous. And then after all, you do it the first time. Then you're like, well, I didn't die. Then you do it a second time. Then you do it again and again and again. And then once you realize like, it's a practice. Like, you know, it's something that you have to get better at. Like some people that, oh, I'm real or I'm fake. And it's not as black and white. It's more of a shades of gray. It's more of a spectrum. And there's some days where you may be more authentic, more brave, more courageous, or maybe more timid, more shy. But I think we all should aim to be our most authentic, real self, because that is what people are going to respect always.
Literally, no,
Yeah,
that's
most
true.
def.
What do you think about that, Alfreezy, about being authentic and true?
Someone said it to me one time. It was, nobody could do you better than you.
Right.
So I kind of just stuck with that the whole time. And
That one's, I'm gonna write that
Yeah.
one down. No one can do better than you. But that is true though, because you know what? We have our own inner power. You know, it's like there's nobody else like you. Where you hear that quote where it's like, I don't lose people, people lose me.
Right.
I really stand by that quote because I'm like, bro, I never lose people. Like people lose me, and it's because if you know that you are real, you keep it real with people. You're a genuine person. You're down to earth. What are you losing?
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
I think it's just more of knowing your value, but also knowing your power. Because once you know your power,
You're powerful.
yeah, you're powerful. And I think that's something though, but in a judgmental world and society, it's like they don't want that. They were more of stick to the status quo. I hate that shit. What about you guys?
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, like, because the thing is, people always want the one that's going to stand out. Like if we're in a room and you see a whole bunch of white and black cows, you see one that's purple, you're going to focus on that. So like I said before, like your superpower is your authenticity. Like you got to just get through that and be you. And it takes less energy. Like when you're out here trying to play, you're like, I got to pretend and I got to do that. It takes a lot of energy. But when you're just like, yo, this is me, this is who I am, that's when you're your most powerful self.
Yeah. And but I think for those watching, let's say they feel, you know, well, what if I'm myself and then somebody neglects me and I get left and, you know, they don't like me anymore. How can you learn to not care about that thought? But at first it is terrifying because you're like, man, if I show my true self, are they going to accept me? How do you kind of beat those thoughts? Alfreezy, how could you, or Chris?
Yeah, because the thing is, the ones that, you know, you're going to resonate, the people that are meant for you are for you. You know what I mean? Like everybody has their thing, but everybody likes somebody. Like you're all, like my dad used to tell me that.
Yeah.
You may have your haters, but you will always have your fans. And that's really true. And so by you just keeping it real, the right people are going to come. You know what I mean? Like there's some people who may like see me and Alfreezy. We're very different. He likes Larry June. I couldn't tell you Larry June's song. You put a gun in my head. I don't know who that is. You know what I mean? I like Taylor Swift. That's me. You know what I'm saying? So there's some people who like more Alfreezy, more chill vibe.
Yeah.
Then there's some people like me because I'm effervescent. I'm like ecstatic. Like that's me. So at the end of the day, if you just stay true to who you are, the right people will come to you. That's it. Real simple. Real simple.
I agree. But
Thank you. See?
we got people preaching in the background right here in our audience right here.
Yeah.
No, but it's just more of like staying true to yourself, but also not losing yourself in a judgmental world. Because sometimes, you know, you're kind of like, well, what if there's always that anxiety where it's like, what if I do this and people don't like it? What if I post this and people don't like it? I know you probably get like that, right, Alfreezy?
Yeah,
You post every day.
I
On
get
Yeah.
that literally probably every single day. Like, why would they care about my content? But I think recently I just had an interview with Dame Masson. I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name, but I just had an interview with her, and she was so happy to be on my interview. And once I realized that, it clicked in my head. It was like, I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for the people that actually want to get their voice out and actually want to get their song, their creation, whatever it is, out. So they rely on me. So why do I let that person down?
Right. That's
Wow. And I think it takes a lot to want to start your own movement. Like example, I see Laquan, he goes to the gym, he's filling himself in the gym, all right? People already have anxiety in the gym where it's like, man, what if I film myself doing these squats and these girls are thinking, you know, something wrong of me, or what if these guys are hating on me? I see he's really consistent with the social media when it comes to working out. So how do you stay, I mean, when those thoughts come where it's like, do I want to film this? What if people think I'm weird?
So, like, for me, that's a big one. Because I do, like, a ton of stuff. Doing parkour backflips. I'm doing music. And I write all the time. And I look at ancient history. I don't even watch TV. Like, if you name some actors, I guarantee you I don't know who it is. I literally don't. And it's been like that for years. I probably, like, 8 years of just no TV, straight up. Unless it's ancient history or something that I have to learn about. So I'm doing that. And it was hard at first. Because I'm posting all these wild things. Oh, this and this and that. And then it went back to, like, it felt like I was showing off because the haters would be like, oh, he's doing this. Oh, look at Q. He's doing something that. Oh, I thought he was a therapist. Oh, now he's doing cosmetology. Oh, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know, and for me, it's just just put it out there. It don't matter. Because as soon as I start putting it out there, not caring, especially with the music. So I messaged Kate or Sway Calloway. You guys know him? Biggest music hip hop journalist ever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just sent him something because everybody's trying to tell me how to do my music. You got to do this show to come out. You got to go over here. Atlanta's popping. Cali's right here. Only 5 hours away. You should go over here. Boom, boom, boom. I said, what if I just DM him? You know what I mean? And I messaged him.
Yeah.
And he brought me on the live. I said, oh, this can't be real. So, boom, I go on his live, spit some stuff for him and his daughter, Yominka. They were like, yeah, he's fire. I was watching the comment section. They're putting fire signs. And I'm like, yo. They were like, oh, he checks out. That's what the comment section, were saying. And now I got a good relationship with his daughter. And he brought me on the show again.
Yeah.
And it's just like crazy. And I didn't even really try. And these guys that I'm around that's doing music, they was going hard with it. They got their whole team. They got logos, shirts. They even got like a crowd with them wherever they perform. And they would never let me in. And I'm always buying their shirts and stuff. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do me basically. And that's what I've been doing. And so when you hit me up, it was like at a perfect time. Hopefully I'm not talking too much.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Cool.
We had a talk.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Real.
it was at a perfect time because my wife for like 14 years, she was boom done. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? And this is my second relationship, so I'm like, I did this one right. Can't be me. Ain't no way. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't abusive, none of that. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I was just like, you know how people say I got a small circle? It was just me for years. Them couple years. Man. Straight up me. I'm like, am I depressed or what? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll be laying down, I'm like, I don't even want to get up to use the restroom. And I gotta get forced to get up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I thought I was depressed. Then I start remembering who I was. I start waking up, start getting swole. And you know what I'm saying? And that's how it just unfolded for me. And that's why I'm like, you know what? Cool. And when you hit me up on Tik, I was like, all right, this is it. This gotta be it. You know what I'm saying? Because podcast is just, it's where, I want to get my verbiage up and want to get my, just be more social with everything and everybody.
Yeah.
No more saying small circle or big circle. Just live, you know what I mean?
Oh, I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. I mean, of course, like sometimes we get in our funks. I feel like it is that. I mean, we're human. So like anybody, whoever's in this room right now or whoever's, going through depression or, sometimes we get in that funk where it's like we forget who we are. And then something just happens where it clicks in our head and we're like, oh, wait, hold up. I know I'm not crying over this.
Right.
I know I'm not sad over this. Because you have to remember is like, it's who you are that you have to appreciate. But sometimes, like I said, we get in our funks. But you know what? I say you feel the emotions, you heal the emotions, and then when you get back up, it's go time. Like,
For sure.
you better go, you better know how to get up. But then sometimes we're like, wait, how do we get up? How do we beat those like thoughts? How does that happen with you?
I usually go around people that love me and I love them. Like my favorite person to go around and get me out of funk is most definitely my mom. I go to my mom, she'll get my mind right. I leave her house and I'm just in a whole better mood. If not my mom, it's my siblings or even my nephew. Like my family's really they're my heart. So might as well, I'm gonna go to the people that love me instead of going to the people that don't love me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because that makes more sense. Yeah. What do you think about it, Chris?
I think also what doesn't kill you always makes you stronger. I was watching an interview with Oprah and Melinda Gates, and she was talking about, like, if you pay attention to your life always gets better. And I really do believe that. Like, I believe that, I used to go to church a lot, and there's a Bible verse, Romans 8:28, that says, and we know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord. So anytime you're going through anything, it's working out for your good. And I think so often where people go through something and then they get trapped and they get stuck, and it's like, no, like that's a part of your journey. Like when you got fired, that was a part of your journey. When you got let go, that was a part of your journey. When you lost the apartment, that was a part of your journey, because all things work together for them that love the Lord. So also, let me talk about that. People need to have a spiritual life. Like, you have to have some type of foundation where you can like call on, like when you're going through those rough times, you need something to fall on. And that's one thing that I always fall back to is like my spirituality, the fact that I grew up in church, like the fact that I can quote Bible verse off of my head, the fact that I know how to pray, because I don't know where we as a collective have gotten so away from spirituality and Christianity. Like, we have lost that as a society where like people do not go to church. They have no spiritual life. They have no type of spiritual life. And I truly believe that we are just human beings beings having a spiritual experience. So if you're not doing something for spirit, you're out here. It's really tough out here. So I like when Alfreezy says, you know what, there's times I'm going through and I need to go around my family. I need to be around that energy, people that love me, because you have to do something to fill your cup up. Because like I always say, I was talking about this on my Instagram story, this life is hard. It's a journey. Man's days are short and full of trouble. If you're walking around here thinking you're in your soft girl era, wake up, because it's really tough out here. And if you don't have some type of foundation, some type of family, some type of hobby, something to get you out of it, you're going to be then you're going to be hitting the weed. You're going to be drinking. You're going to be out here stressed out because you don't have no type of foundation. You know what I mean? So, you know, people just need to pray. That's what I always say. Don't I say that?
Y'all need to pray. If y'all watching this, make sure you pray.
Man, that was deep.
Get them chakras.
You feel what I'm saying? Lord Jesus, it's tough out here.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think about that, Laquan? What he said about when it comes to it's being tough out here and nobody wants to come to their spiritual life, which I agree.
Yeah. Well, for me, with the ancient history and stuff like that, that I go with, because I don't do the whole Bible or no religion thing like that.
So you don't like it? You're not into religion
at
all?
But no, none of it.
I understand.
None of it. Because I feel like I feel it inside. So like sometimes when people say like, oh yeah, ask God for this and this and that. But me, I don't know if it's because I watch so much ancient history or whatever, but I'm like, you know what? God made me with his hands and we already in his image. We just got to bring it out. That's what I know.
Yeah, that's good.
And I don't want to believe in nothing. I just want to know. Because if you believe in something, that means like, oh, I got $1 million over here. I got 100 in here. Pick this one. I got $1 million. Like that. Are you going to believe me or do you know? You know what I mean? And we got to like recognize what we're saying, because believe is just a belief system. If you know, you know. But then if you tell somebody, oh yeah, you believe it, they be like, yo, I know it. Then they switched it, and I'm like, no, you didn't. You said you believe. You know, like our language even got lost. Right. Spirituality, language, it all got lost.
I agree. And at the same time too, there was a quote that I saw just recently. It was so fire. I was like, man, I want to talk about it. So it said, in order to have the right doors open for you, you have to be the right version of yourself.
Okay.
I said, hold up. I screenshotted that shit. I was like, let me replay this in my mind real quick. Because it's true. Why is it true? You can't attract the right partner if you're not the right partner. You can be wanting the best, happiest love life ever, but if you have some toxic habits of your own, how can you attract that? You literally have to go within yourself to dissect that part of you, unlearn what you've already learned, maybe as an upbringing or whatever. But you have to be the right version of yourself. Whether it's, let's say you wanted a social media job, well, you have to break the non-confidence to get through that door. Let's say you want to look for love, but yet you're broken inside, so now you're going to keep tearing people apart too. It's like you have to be the right version of yourself in order to get the right doors open to you. What do you think about that, group?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. If you don't love yourself, how can you love anything or anybody else?
Yeah, that was like a deep quote.
Yeah,
real deep.
And I think like you can only attract what you are. I think that's what you're kind of saying. Yeah. And let me say this. I don't even do vision boards. Like, you know, some people are so into vision boards. I don't believe in that, because I feel like when you're doing the vision board, you're casting out what you aren't. Like, I think so often people do all this envisioning. You need to be working on becoming. Like, let me become a person that can get that job. Let me become the person that can make $100,000. Let me become the person that can move cities or whatever. Become. And don't be envisioning, because how often are you doing the vision board? And it's just a vision. You know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, it's like, it's a distance. Like, there's a distance from there. Like, you got to become that person. You got to write that vision, make it plain, and become that person. I could say all day, because me and Alfreezy gets on me. Let's really talk about it. Can we keep it real here? Alfreezy talks about the fact that I'm not that in shape. So he be coming at me. That's when we was talking about the gym. I was like, well, don't ask me nothing about no gym, because I can't even do a squat if you put a gun in my head. Anyway, so my thing is, I can't sit around and put on the vision board 6-pack. I can't put on the vision board, you know what I mean, size 34 waist or whatever it is, or size medium shirt. I have to become that person. I got to put down that Popeyes. I got to get in that gym. I got to run that mile in the morning. You have to become that person. And I think so often people get stuck with the envisioning, and they got to make a conscious, concerted effort to becoming.
Wow. That's
deep. I like that, bro.
Morehouse College graduate here. Come on.
But how, Laquan, do you think we could stop visioning and becoming?
A lot of what you said. Just start. What do you say? Stop posting 444, 1111, and actually knowing what it looks like. I ask people all the time. He's like, "Oh, I want to become a millionaire." Like, what does your version of a millionaire look like? What do you do? What kind of car you drive? What does the house look like? What is the seat interior look like to that Bentley? And they can't even say it. They don't even know what it looks like, but they just want it. I'm like, "Oh, you don't know what that 444 1111 is." I'm like, "You just posting it." Angelic numbers, you know.
Yeah. It's like a lot of wishing, but not a lot of doing.
Yeah.
And it's like there's another quote that also says, you know, you have to just do it.
Yeah.
And that's by Nike. But I'm saying, but you just gotta just do it. At the same time, it's like, but there's so much. I feel like a goal without a goal without a plan is just a dream.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's so true. Because if you have a goal but you have no plan to get there. You're wishing for it, but you ain't going to achieve it.
That's right.
There's no plan in action. Obviously, when it took to you guys wanting to come, you know, on the radio on 98.3, you had a plan to want to get into social media, whether that was college, whether that was who you know, you have to have some type of plan to get to where you want to be, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Plan and some faith. You know what I mean? Like, you have to believe in it is what you're doing.
True.
You know, I really am inspired by Alfreezy too. I watch him. Like, he really believes. He makes his phone like is full of content, full of videos. Like, and I think he really. I don't think we're out here just playing. Like, when we came in here today, I was nervous because I was ready to really let's talk. Like, let's cook. You know what I mean? Like, what you want to ask me? Let's get into it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to believe in is what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure when you came up in, you wasn't about to play no game. Like, we're not playing no games here. We're here to really have a real conversation, Realness Lounge.
Yeah, the Realness Lounge.
How'd you come up with that name? Where'd you guys get that from?
I honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. So when I first made this podcast, and Marty probably could say it, it was called Real Ass Podcast, and then somebody on YouTube was like, "Hey, that name was taken." I'm like, "What?" And so I thought about it. I was like, "Okay, but I still want to keep it real. Like, I don't want to change it. I just want to think realness, like real authenticity." And then I was like, lounge like you're just chilling,
hanging out.
So like I was more of like trying to think about something that's catchy but also what I wanted it to be, the concept, like a lounge, like you're chilling, people having an organic conversation. And honestly, like at the time, my mental health, when it was like the time when I made this podcast, but the thing was about me, it was that I was, I would start it and I would stop the content. I would start it, and I know y'all feel me on this. You start it, and then you stop it, and then you start it, and then you stop it. Yep. But the key is to be like consistency is what will rise you to the top. So first I was like, you know what? Like first I started to stop caring what people think. I was like, you know what? I'm tired about worrying about people who didn't care about me. And I wanted to make a decision to care about myself more. So I called Marty and I'm like, Marty, I want to get this girl. She's been in prison for like 7 years. She's coming out. This would be a great story. Because at one point, your goals, your purpose should be the primary focus of your life. I don't care. People come and go, but your goals and your purpose are there forever. That's all I see it like that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, most definitely. Without your goals and your purpose, kind of lose who you are.
Yeah, and you could lose yourself in people too.
And here's the thing, I don't think a lot of young people even know what their purpose is, and that's where you got to have the conversation. Like, we understand that it should be paramount and it should be priority, but a lot of people haven't in that investigative work to really understand what that is. And when you were speaking, one thing that was coming in my mind is how you were talking about how everybody was telling you to do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that, but when you decide to look into yourself and know what to do, then you got the blessing. And so I think one thing we need to put out there is, like, people need to know that you have an inner GPS within you that always knows what to do. Think about it. Think about when you meet somebody, or you meet a girl or whatever, or you go to a job interview, or you go into a party, you can feel the energy. I tell people, you need to be cognizant of energy. Some people call it energy, some people call it spirits, whatever. Everything is energy. And so whenever you're about to make a decision, when you're about to do something, you need to pay attention to what makes you feel, what makes you come alive, what makes you feel passionate, what makes you feel love, what makes you feel joy. Pay attention when you hang out with somebody that after you hang out with them, you're like, man, I'm tired. Man, I feel anxious. Sometimes you be on some people, you just feel drained after you hang out with them. Those are not the people you need to be around. You need to be in, like, some people always argue to get out your feelings. You need to get in your feelings, because your feelings are your GPS is going to get you where you need to go. Get in your feelings, understand your purpose, figure out what it's going to be, and then move. Because you can't just be out here just moving around. You got to have some, you got to know where you're going. You feel me? Like, imagine we going on a trip and let's just go for a ride. You would think I'm crazy if you said, let's go for a ride. Where are we going?
Where are we going now?
You said when we were in the car with Alfreezy, he just drove. I said, bro, where are we going? I said, do you got directions on here? What's going on? Where are we going? We got to know where you're going.
I knew I was going.
He didn't know. Look at him. Does he really know? Does he know where he's really going, folks?
He's like, I know where I'm going.
Because you know I don't drive. Do you know how to drive?
No, I don't know how to drive.
I don't drive at all. Do you drive?
No.
Me neither. How old are you though?
You know what? I want to say shout out to Lyft. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Sponsor. No, I'm just kidding. But no, but I don't like to drive. I have anxiety with it, but I never ever say that. But at the same time, I don't really care because it's that's something of my journey and my story. But it's
absolutely.
I fucking hate driving. And
I don't even have a driver's license. Like,
and
I
then
don't
you
drive
turn on Channel 3 News and it's like 2 people just got. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, a lot of people are passing away from car accidents too.
Yeah,
I just don't have time for that. I just rather Uber, I rather Lyft, I rather hang out for friends. Like, I don't have time for
You
that.
see it all the time. Yeah, it's scary.
I know it is scary, and at the same
Did you
time,
have your license at 16?
Yeah, I got my license at 16.
yeah, you know, damn right, he was like,
And he got into a car accident. And
Yeah.
tell that story.
Yeah, I got
16?
T-boned, I think maybe 2 years ago, and my car was totaled. It was a maroon Nissan Maxima. I bought that by myself. So it was my first car I ever bought. It got totaled, and I literally almost died. They said if it was a couple more inches to the right, towards the center of the car, I probably would have passed away. But it was more towards my gas tank. My car just 4 or 5 times.
I fucking applaud you for
That's
it.
crazy. When he told me that, I was like, oh my
nuts.
God.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
It takes a I literally applaud you for that for real because don't you ever feel that anxiety where you're like, what if I get in a car accident again? How do you kind of manage?
Did you have any
that?
trauma?
Actually, no, I did not. I literally just hopped back on the road maybe the next
Damn,
day.
you
I
just
was
went
just
back
like,
on.
You wasn't looking at the mirror like, oh.
Nah, I think the most trauma, because I got in a car accident with my dad when I was about 7, 8 years old, and that gave me trauma. I didn't want to hop in a car for maybe a year. But this recent accident, I was like, I'm gonna get back on the road.
Oh, you recognized
Damn,
I'm good, yeah.
That's
That's really good.
crazy. How do you have that emotional resilience where you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna fucking go? Fuck it.
I low-key get it from my mom. My mom, growing up, we struggled. So I seen a lot of resilience from my mom.
Wow.
And that kind of just, and my older sister.
Shout out to his mom and
Yeah.
his older
Sounds
sister
like-
for
yeah.
watching
it.
this.
She sound like a cool person.
Yeah, my mom, but she'll beat my ass. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hey, you know what? My dad would beat my ass too. You know when they get the chancla.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
now
they
my
just
mom
throw
used to
it.
when I get in trouble, if she didn't have the chancla, it's either a hanger or the remote, whatever's closest to her.
I
You
mean-
should have thrown
Something.
that.
And you know what's funny though is that I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of Taylor Swift, but I would say I do.
Oh, here we go.
appreciate-
Taylor Swift time.
Yeah, I respect her because why? Because she makes the best music. She writes how she feels, but also I don't know. I just feel like she has that. I don't know. She's independent. Honestly, even her getting with Travis, I was like, she needed that. She needed that masculine man to lead her because she was leading herself. Let's be real.
Okay.
She was more of she was leading herself. She's independent. She didn't need no man, really. She has everything in the world. So when you like Taylor Swift, Chris, do people kind of look at you just because of the culture background and they're like, why do you like her?
Yeah, but I get most resistance from other black men. Women don't care. And when I
Yeah,
go to
women
these
don't
Taylor
care.
Swift parties, and the Taylor Swift fans are so nice to me. I never experienced that, but I get most resistance from my brothers who are just that's weird, and I don't that's not good articulation. That's not good logic. That's what I like. I love Reputation. I love Midnights. I love Lavender Haze,
Damn.
Delicate. I love Taylor Swift. And I would like to ask you this question. Can you at least name 5 Taylor Swift songs?
I don't know.
Do you know? Can you name 3?
I really don't.
Can you name 3?
All I know, what's that one song, 22 or something like that?
Yes!
Oh, there you go.
There you go. That's it.
It was his birthday and he remembered it.
Oh, the mic.
That's
The
why I
mic.
remember 22 and he turned 22.
You don't know Shake It Off?
Me too, though.
Do you know any Taylor Swift songs?
I don't. But I do like her movement.
Yes.
And at first I
So
first
when you say
started
you like her
looking at
movement,
her.
what does that mean?
Her movement? Yeah, so I was at work. Oh my God, they're gonna watch this. They're gonna watch this episode. So I was at work and we're looking at, Taylor Swift. And for the first time, that's me just barely. I just know
Right.
Swifties, and I knew about her because of Travis Kelce or whatever.
Right.
That's it, barely. You know what I mean? But I always knew that she was always like a glittery performer or whatever
Right.
like that.
Like
And she had Swifties and the fans, and she had a whole movement. But the first time I actually started looking into her is when somebody at work was saying oh, she's dating Travis, and look at her track record, like all the guys she dated, and I'm like. Are you her friend or are you gonna be her friend? You know what I mean? Like leave her alone.
Yeah.
Everybody
Leave her
needs to
alone,
leave
bro.
people alone.
Yeah.
Just let them do whatever they want to do.
If she out here making money, bro, it's let her be.
Just let her do her
I love
thing.
me some
Yeah.
Taylor. I got into Taylor with Midnights, the Midnights album, because I was on TikTok, like you were talking about TikTok, and I do pop culture commentary where I talk about things in pop culture, and she was dropping her Midnights album, and I was covering it, and I was saying that I don't know anything about her. So then I listened to the album. I really, really liked it. So then the people on my TikTok were like, listen to this one, listen to that one, listen to that one. And I went down the Taylor Swift rabbit hole, and I was just like, man, there's some really good music on there.
Yeah,
so I like Taylor Swift. That's my favorite artist. I love Beyonce. I like Beyonce more than Taylor Swift, and people be thinking I like Taylor. It's because Beyonce don't be really working that hard no more. Like, she doesn't put out a lot of
She's
stuff.
a stay-at-home mom, right?
You know, she's
what
a mom
about
now,
Jonas Brothers? Jonas
But-
Brothers. You like Jonas Brothers?
No, I'm not some Disney listener.
See, I think Jonas Brothers is all right.
3,000. Not much has changed, but they live underwater. I know that.
Yeah, see?
Great.
Look, see? There you go.
Is doing
There it is.
fine.
Oh, I thought it was too fine.
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
she fine then? I'm like, she fine.
Yeah, I don't. Why would you say Jonas
Yeah.
Brothers? I don't do that.
No, because when I was looking up Taylor, Jonas Brothers popped up, and I ended up playing them, and that's what I stuck
Beyonce
with.
number 1 for me. Taylor Swift number 2. Drake number 3.
I'm gonna have to go Cole number 1, Lil Wayne,
Ooh.
and Chris Brown.
Chris Brown, who will be here this Sunday.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
got?
he's like, tickets coming out. He's like, make sure y'all pay attention, guys. No, I'm just kidding. But
Yeah.
I would say my favorite music, I would say I love The Weeknd.
Okay.
The Weeknd
Okay.
gets deep. He gets dark. Like, you
I
kinda-
only thought
Yeah, he's dope. Yeah.
I feel it coming. He had it on
Yeah.
that.
I like
That's a
that
good
one. That's the
a
one
good
I like. Yeah,
yeah.
that one is tight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I also like, and I seen her take down that tequila. Come on, the leader. That's relatable.
Yeah, that one. Also,
Party Monster, you know that song?
Ooh,
Party Monster goes
she
Yeah,
is.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm good,
Yeah.
I'm great. That's a hit.
Hey.
He had it on that.
Y'all know about Reminder the other weekend?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
every
yeah.
time you try to forget
Yeah,
who I am,
yeah.
just like, I'm going to remind you. So I'm a that reminds me
You
of
know
Toxic
me.
Ex. You're like, I'm going to remind
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. That's a
Like,
good one.
Yeah.
That's
Weeknd
good.
goes crazy.
No, but
Yeah.
I really do. I love pop culture as well. I feel like with the Pop Out Wednesdays, guys. If you guys don't know, on the
Yes,
Grand,
Jay Steele.
They do with Jay Steele. They do Pop Out Wednesdays at the Grand, and I'm like, man, that is dope. You know why? Because it's true. Not everybody's doing pop, and if you think about it. You can imagine yourself dancing in a fucking NSYNC or Backstreet
Yeah.
Boys. That's
And Pop Out Wednesdays goes up. It's a good time. Like Jay Steele, that's my cousin, by the way. Runs the radio station Power 983.
Oh,
He plays
word?
pop songs on Wednesday night. So it's like Britney Spears, Taylor Swift, Christina Aguilera,
Wow.
Maroon 5. He started last night with You Gotta Keep Your Head Up. Oh, and if you let your head down, I can't remember who made that song. But it's like the most 1,000 Miles, Vanessa Carlton. Like he just be going crazy. Shout out to Jay Steele. That's my cousin.
Yeah,
The best.
shout out to Jay Steele. No, I think, but do you feel like sometimes people are like, well, why do we got to do pop? Because I feel like a lot of people, they, tend to be like, okay, why pop? But I'm like, pop is actually, it's basically like, if you think about it, Justin Bieber's pop.
Yeah.
So it's like, pop, I love pop because it kind of gets you,
It's
they're
happy.
talking about it's happiness. It's like, let's go, you got to keep your head up. Like if somebody's going through something in the club and they're like hearing that song, they're like, I got to keep my head up, damn,
Right, yeah.
So I feel like a lot of the times people kind of be like, oh, well, why you want to do pop? Like I did see comments on his thing saying, well, why pop?
And he switches it up. He'll do hip hop towards the end of the night.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
want to know something that's new? I've lived in a lot of different states, like 7. But I didn't start hearing all this Latin music till I came to Arizona. Like all that stuff, I ain't never heard. Like Mexican OT, Peso Pluma, like all these artists, I didn't know who they were coming from like Los Angeles and Atlanta and Ohio.
Well, for
like,
me in Jersey, I didn't even really know what a Mexican was.
oh wow,
Not really, because it was always Puerto Rican or Dominican or something
Yeah.
like that. But when it's like Mexican, I'm like, oh, okay, because Mexico's right there. But then it was like a lot of Mexicans, light-skinned ones, dark-skinned ones. And then the ones that was from here didn't really like the ones in
Latinas.
Mexico. I'm like, yo.
good stuff.
No, that is true. But also, I love Fercho. I don't know if you guys know about Fade, but he's also one of my, definitely my favorite artists. Like, I remember I went to his concert recently. I just love I love when people write music related to relationships. Because that's like, if you're going to be a rapper or a songwriter, you better write something that's something about a breakup. Because those shit go up.
They do go up, yeah.
No, for real. Like,
Do you like love songs?
I like breakup songs. So those like let's say like you and your feelings and shit, you need that one breakup song.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, like this shit
I
hitting.
think what
West
song
Side
that was.
Boogie.
Say Goodbye is probably my best
By
friend.
Chris Brown. Oh, God.
Nah, what about West Side Boogie? Does anybody know about West Side Boogie?
Oh yeah, West Side Boogie goes crazy.
He
I
goes
like West Side
crazy
Boogie.
with those.
I like West Side Boogie. He
Yeah.
goes crazy.
No, for real. I really thought about that too. And then also, even when it comes to social media, I mean, I've been seeing Take It Easy with Alfreezy. What made you want to think about taking it easy with Alfreezy, and how did you want to
I came up with that name. I
movement?
promise
He
you I
says
did.
he
I
came up with
promise
it.
you I came up with that
He
name.
did not. It just goes together.
Because he be taking it easy. He be
Yeah,
chilling.
and that's just my
Yeah, you
personality.
can
It
tell
seemed
you're
like
mellow.
it.
I
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
just who
and
I
we
am.
get along so well. We never are. Well, he be getting tired of me sometimes.
Yeah, we're like complete opposites,
Complete
but like
opposites.
The opposites attract, though. Like, I feel like if you know, like,
we ain't really friends though. We just
Just business partners.
partners. What made you want to start your own thing? You know, your own movement, your own. Where like I'm gonna bring people on. You mentioned you're doing it for them. What do you mean by that?
Just because Arizona doesn't really have a big name like in music at all. Like most people come here is like, what's Arizona? They just think Cowboys dirt. But nah, we're way more than that. We probably have some of the best fashion, some of the best artists.
Really?
Yeah, word up.
Well, I'm
Mexican
just trying
food.
to put that on the map. I'm just trying to show everybody how unique we are. We're just not dirt and Cowboys. We're Arizona. Like, we're probably the next California. Once they go in the water, we the next California.
I can't stand it when people are like, "I hate Arizona," but you fucking live here,
Yes,
so you better
exactly.
love Arizona.
Yeah,
like,
it's one of my favorite places I've lived in. I'm having it.
yeah,
Even though it's hot.
yeah. What do you think?
Sonoran Desert, like
What do you guys think about Chris when they say, "Oh, I hate Arizona"? I'm like, but you live here.
Pray, please pray. I don't know what to say about that. Get out. I like it. I've lived in Los Angeles. I lived in Boston, Atlanta, Ohio, Los Angeles. I mean, I like Arizona. I like the people here are nice. It's all you never have to check the weather. It's always sunny and warm, no matter what.
True.
The heat is okay, but sometimes the air conditioning be blasting everywhere, so it's all right.
Yeah,
I'm having a good time. I live in Central Phoenix. Like I live right like 10 minutes from the airport. Not Mesa, not
yeah,
Chandler. I
you
live
in there.
really good.
a lot of concrete.
I like it. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
it.
What
I
about you,
mean,
Laquan, when you see stuff like that? When you're like, "Oh, I hate Arizona." I seen TikToks. One of them was like, "Oh, I can't stand Arizona," but I'm like, "But you live here. Like, what are you talking about?"
I don't know. Me, I just try to be a smart aleck with them. Just be like, look, this is the desert we're in, Sonoran Desert. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think is gonna be cool over here? You know, there's other places that get snowed in. What you want? You want the snow or you want the heat? You know what I mean? Just moved in. Like a lot of people just live to die. Like they don't know. They don't really have no movement within
Mobility.
themselves. They talk about the movement so much. Like a lot of people, I get a lot of people asking me about, "Oh, how you get big arms?" Stuff like that. I'm like, you don't want to do this, dude. You know, you don't want to do this. This sucks. I mean, I'm making it look like it's all right because finally, when it's over and I get to throw on a shirt, it looks good. But the amount of work it takes, the food you eat, can't eat no birthday cakes all the time. Like
Snicker bars, paydays, can't eat stuff like
it's
that.
crazy. It's a crazy thing to do. That's why not a lot of people do it. Yeah.
But at the same time, you mentioned, I love how you said that, where you're like, "I'm making it easy," but it's not easy because
Hell nah.
when you're in the gym and then your arms are hurting the next day,
Yeah.
you're like, "Okay, now I gotta go back again, rest." Go
Drinking
back
a
again.
gallon of water a day. That's
Oof.
How do you
the
keep
protein shakes.
How do you keep your mind right through all that? Like, 'cause
I just
know
do
your
it.
body hurts. And
I just tell my body to shut up and I just do it.
yeah.
Damn,
Just do it.
you
I
just tell it to
the
shut
fuck
up.
Bobby.
Like shut up. Like shut up.
Damn.
You know? Yeah.
Because sometimes you just gotta do that if you think about it. Because I mean, sometimes you think about the gym and you're like, "I don't want to go."
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm like that. So if Chris, you're like that, I'm like that too.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't want to go. But then you're like, but then something's telling you, but what if you do go? What would
Yeah.
happen to you if you were to go?
Yeah.
What would happen to your body? Obviously, it's not going to be like an overnight process.
No.
It's like a BBL. But, it's like, what are we going to do to get there? Like, but I think it's sometimes where we're like, well, what if it's too hard? Or what if it isn't? What if we don't get the goals that we want or the results that we want? It's just sometimes we stick to the results more than the process.
You gotta get a trainer. I'd say just get a trainer because you gotta make it make sense. Because as humans, as soon as it starts to make sense, and when we know we really want to do it, then you do it. It's kind of like getting a tattoo. Like for me, it hurts to me. So, but if I really want it, I just be like, hit me. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you gotta just get a trainer and let them like make it make sense. Like 3,400 calories, that's 1 pound of fat. Now let's exercise to 3,400 calories. Let's see at the end of the week. Oh, okay. 3-4 pounds gone. Cool. It's starting to make sense now. So you're like, okay, let me drink this water now. All right, let me eat this salad. Oh, and a vein? You know what I'm saying? And then it starts to unfold and then you start to take off by yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think also too when it comes to that is the nutrition. I was thinking about nutrition plays a big part in gaining the weight that you want and losing the weight that you want.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't really value these nutritionists. Like I'm like, damn, like if you want to get the weight you want, you better contact that nutritionist because you're like that person knows the key to get you there. But sometimes we kind of forget that and we're like, well, I'm just gonna keep working out. And one of my friends was like, wait, you mean to tell me that I was working out all this time, but I need to eat more? Everybody gets so confused.
Yeah.
But it's because of the nutrition, right?
Yeah. It's like 80% of the results, right?
So if you want to gain weight, you got to eat a lot of food, and it sucks being full all the time.
Yeah.
But that's just the reality of it. But once the weight starts to come, your body's like, okay, we gaining weight, and it just gains weight. Like your body listens to whatever you tell it to do. It's crazy.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's like sometimes you don't want to eat that chicken and rice, right?
Nah.
You don't wanna eat it, you know?
Even if it's fire.
It gets too repetitive. It's
You're like, I don't want to eat that damn chicken and rice, but I want to look good in the summer.
Right.
I feel like it's like a battle between your body and your mind because you're like, fuck, like I really don't want to eat this damn chicken and rice, but at the same time, I want to be able to lift that hoe. So it's like, you know,
right now.
That's what happens.
Lord.
That's what happens.
You know about that.
But it's true though. Like you want to be able to have that, but it's like, how do you guys? I want to know because I think it's something that people want to know as well. Like, how can you, although you don't want to eat that shit, what makes you want to keep? Like, fuck, you're just like, fuck it. Like,
Alfred can't even cook, so like, he don't have no choice.
Really
he can't even cook.
I'm barely learning how to cook.
Are you meal prepping?
I don't meal prep. I eat out a lot, unfortunately, but I keep it. I do a good protein breakfast every day. Always eat my egg whites, my turkey bacon, some type of healthy fats, Dave's Killer Bread. I don't believe in seasoning anymore, so I don't only use Mrs. Dash. No oils or butters, so no butter in my home, no oil in my home. I do avocado spray. I've lost about 15 pounds in the past like 3 months, so I'm slimming, but I'm still like just getting started. And it really comes from hanging out with Alfred because he be pushing me like, "Oh, you know you big."
That's because he be roasting me, so I'll be able to
you see what I'm dealing with? It's so like, you know, because like one time, like, it's like all he does is make fun of my weight, like I'm just this old grease.
Because he be roasting me too.
He said old grease.
I've never done anything besides just be a Christian man too. I'm so confused. He be coming at me crazy.
They still know.
Hey, but y'all know something though is that I love those friends that tell you like it is because
I'm not big, so I don't even know what we're even talking about.
It's the camera. It's not him.
Come on, I'm just a dainty little flower. Like I don't even know what he's talking about.
You know, I feel like I love those friends. You know why? Because if I had shit in my teeth and you letting me go all day with shit in my teeth, you ain't my friend.
I'll be getting on you for smoking.
You a fake ass.
Yeah.
But you ain't my friend. Like I need to know those people who are like, hey, like you don't look right now. Like you need to brush your hair. I'm that person too, but I'm not like the person where it's like you look big, but it's like, hey, you need to go brush your hair. Like
Alfreezy, he be on me. He be I've been in the gym just consistently, just running my little heart out.
I be telling girls, be like, hey, you need to go brush your hair. But it's because like you want that. Like you want somebody to be putting you in your place.
Is that what you trying to do, or you just be trying to be mean? Let's talk about
trying to motivate
Let's be
you.
on the podcast.
That's
how
how
a real conversation.
That's how I motivate
He's like, I
literally
motivate you to
everyone.
be-
Like my nephew, when he was barely getting into basketball, I'd make fun of him for everything he like. That's just how. Well,
Where's my
particularly
camera
like,
at?
my
Where's the camera at? Give me a
learns.
camera.
He's looking at the camera right now. He's like,
I need it.
That's just how
Thank you.
motivation. Like if we're being made fun of,
Yeah.
But you know what? I feel him on that because at the same time, growing up, my dad would always put me down. He'd be like, "You're never gonna graduate. You're never gonna do this." I don't know why, but it was like reverse psychology because I was like, "Oh, you think I'm not
Prove 'em
gonna
wrong.
graduate?
Yeah.
You think I'm not gonna do this?" It was like a moment where I was like, I'm gonna prove this man
beautiful.
wrong because at the same time, but he even told me like, I'm like, why did you always tell me that? Like, even though you didn't want me to like feel like that, why did you tell me that? He's like, I wanted you to get up and like start motivating yourself. But it's like, man, what made y'all want to be like that? Because did y'all have an upbringing where they were putting you down to make you
And hurt
repeat
people
it?
always hurt people.
Yeah, low
Yeah.
key. So I told him that, and he was like, "Yeah, you know, growing up, I had the same thing." But it's like that's tough love, but at the same time, it does motivate you in a way because you're like, "Am I big, or is something wrong with me?"
Man, when I say I've been in that gym just running, thinking about Alfreezy calling me big and saying I have diabetes, it's just like, what's wrong with
hey,
you?
well, you got the results, right? 15 pounds down.
Yeah. Why do you feel like though, Alfreezy, that when you put somebody like, oh, you big, like,
Talk about, say the jokes now. We got the mics on. Talk about it.
Nah, because I only say them when you come after me.
And what do I say about you? What do I say about you?
You really want to say that?
Oh, it's the realness podcast, right?
on the realness side of the podcast right now. I'm fucking weird.
I don't know, but inspire this man. I be pushing. I be like, bro, get your content, bro. You feel me? You gotta go
No,
hard.
he motivates
Hey, he
me.
just
though.
Right, and then he just be like, you need to lose
Nah,
weight. You look big. What size your waist? 44. Come on, like.
No, he told me that what changed everything is when he couldn't fit in a chair.
Oh God, why Why would you tell that story? That was for me and you.
Oh shit, we really kept it real right now.
Yeah,
We kept it real. Where's my camera at? What am I looking at?
Was it a steel chair? Or
Here's the
like-
thing. Let me
what
break
did
this
you-
down. Let's be real. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, so I was speaking on a panel at an event, and I was incredibly nervous. Not because of my poor articulation, because of my intelligence, my expertise, because I literally couldn't get in the seat, like I couldn't fit, and all I kept seeing in my head was me falling down in that chair, and that's all that I was thinking about. And I'm like, if that's gonna hold me back, it's not the public speaking, it's not my ability to articulate, it's the fact that I couldn't fit in a chair. It's like, come on, bro. And I went and got sized for a tuxedo that day, 44 in the waist, 44. Now we're good, 36.
Yep.
30s.
Like, all right. So I made
That's
some
good.
improvement, but I do feel like when it comes to that, I mean, some people take it as, well, why are you picking on me? But then some people are like, I'm saying this so I can look out for you, so nothing happens to you down the line, or
For sure.
I want you to prove me wrong. I want you, if I'm calling you big or if I'm calling you stupid, I want you to be hitting the books. Y'all see that movie Legally Blonde? If y'all ain't never seen Legally Blonde,
It's a
I
good
know where
movie.
y'all
Reese
been.
Witherspoon.
Yes, but do you see at that movie where the moral is that he thought that
Warner.
he underestimated her. He
That's
was like,
right.
you ain't gonna graduate. He's like, nah. He's like, I need somebody smarter.
Right.
What'd she do? She was like, you know what? I'm gonna prove this man
We
wrong.
did it at
And when
the end.
but the thing is that sometimes we get so stuck in the, oh, like I'm not good enough for you, or I'm never gonna be good enough for you. But then once you start like doing the work on yourself, as what she did in the movie, you started realizing, nah, I'm too good for you.
I'm too good for you.
No.
You take my love for granted. I just don't understand it. Now that's relatable.
No, it
now
is.
Drake, y'all know. I know y'all talking about Drake is down bad, but Drake is a songwriter, got the hits. Kendrick,
He do.
you got maybe one song that done got people moving. Drake till the end of the day.
Wow,
What's
that's
Because
Well, mainstream always.
I don't know why we got Kendrick
I
all
fucking
day.
love
like,
Drake. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm
but-
sorry.
Drake don't write his own music.
Drake, right? Drake's a songwriter. He wrote for Rihanna, Beyonce,
If
Drake.
y'all seen Degrassi, then y'all know the real
Come
Drake.
on, Drake over
If y'all
Kendrick
ain't know
every day, and it's
Jimmy-
not even close.
Hey, if
It's not
y'all-
even close.
If y'all ain't know
I'm
Jimmy,
taking
Who is Kendrick?
if y'all ain't know the wheelchair life of him, y'all know what Drake
Kendrick
went
probably got like 3 songs that have
Oh,
moved
you're
me.
tripping.
Not like
You're
us.
tripping.
Y'all remember Degrassi,
What about Good
though?
Kid, Mad City?
Yeah,
I don't know
literally,
anything
there's
about
like
that.
5 bangers on there.
The only
Poetic
songs I
Justice,
like.
Backseat Freestyle.
Who?
What else is on
going.
there? Swimming pools.
Who? Keep going.
Bro, that's all platinum.
Who? Keep going. Who?
Wait,
He
wait,
just
wait,
don't
wait,
listen
wait.
to it. He don't listen to
But
it.
the thing
That's
about
why.
Drake
Right.
is that he'll release a whole 30 songs and only 10 of them will be good.
Oh, Drake. It doesn't
Kendrick,
matter.
he'll release
It's
a whole
alright.
album.
Drake is
everything
gonna
is
come
good.
back, and we need to acknowledge the fact. Let me say that on. Let's keep it real. Drake is gonna
Dang.
come back.
Alright.
People love a
Drake's
champion.
coming back.
Let not like us get off the charts, and Drake is coming back. Shout out to Drake.
Drake's
all
going
around.
strictly
I don't
pop. No
know.
more rap Drake. He's strictly pop.
Damn, but you know what though? You gotta respect him though, because he did tap into other genres. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of, like, even did it with Bad Bunny. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, like you tapped into that.
Drake has
Yeah,
songs
he
with
did a cold song
everybody.
with him
I
too.
know damn right the
Actually,
Latinos
Now
did.
Kendrick does have
Oh.
Taylor Swift because he did Bad Blood remix. There ain't no Drake and Taylor song.
Yeah.
But Drake is the better artist.
I feel like he's the OG of everything. Like he's like the original. He obviously some people are like, well, I know guys that love Drake. I know guys
Love
that
me
don't
some
like
Drake.
him, but I'm like, bro, you have to respect his work ethic, because for him to go on Canadian Degrassi and
Yeah.
to rise up, that's
Come
some real
on.
shit. Like to
Yeah.
the gall that it takes to be like this kind
Yeah.
of kid.
Still
and
gotta
now
do
Drake
it.
is like the GOAT.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows Drake's the one.
yeah.
yeah,
It's great. Bet if I give all my love, then
Oh, no.
nothing's gonna tear
Oh,
us
bro.
apart.
Damn, you got vocals.
Oh,
on
I can
everything.
sing.
We doing American Idol on this, but no, guys, we're gonna take a little 5-minute break, and we'll be right back. Make sure you guys stay there, drink some water. I know y'all dehydrated. Go drink water. All right, guys, we are back, and I hope y'all got that water, because I know I did. Now, I know when it comes to right now, y'all see a lot of politicians and a lot of debates. I see it all over my For You page, I'm not even gonna lie. But, I mean, I feel like a lot of people, they don't like to talk about politics, and then they do. What's your stance on that?
I'm one of those people that don't like to talk about politics.
No, you don't?
I'm not a political person. Like
Yeah.
even in sports, anything. I'm not up for the conversation for real.
No.
Yeah.
No. What about you, Chris?
I don't like talking about politics. Dude. I'd be
No,
nervous.
that's his topic. That's his topic.
I believe
God.
that whether we want to or not, politics affects all of us, and it's important to have conversations. So, like, Be real. What do you not know? And I feel like a lot of times people don't want to talk because they're not familiar with it. It's tough to talk about something you don't know anything about. It's also hard to say, you know what, I don't know anything what you're talking about. That's hard to admit ignorance as well.
Yeah.
But I believe that have the conversation, ask the questions, and if you don't know something, do the research. But I think it affects us. And I think when we don't have the conversations, that's how you get like a Trump or stuff like that, because people, they're not civically engaged. So I think have the conversation, have tough conversations, be respectful, be compassionate, hear people out, but always have the conversation.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
for
true.
sure.
What do you think about that one?
Me, I got a guy. You guys follow him, No Juice Joe on Instagram. And I got another guy, Christopher. He knows who he is. You know.
Sumlin? Christopher Sumlin?
Christopher Sumlin. So they kind of put me onto the politics. I wasn't political at all. Like not even. I still wouldn't even consider myself like political. But I started to look at it more and more, just to see what's actually going on in the world, and like votes and stuff do matter. You gotta like know what's going on. You can't be like just ignorant to everything. And next thing you know, hopefully nobody is in front of a judge, but you vote for judges and everything, and you just vote for, somebody just put you on a slammer. You don't know, it's a good thing to, just know your history, know what's going on, at least in your state. Vote for your mayors, at least your state. If you don't want to, get into it that deep, CNN, because it's boring. I feel like it is. But unless you know what's going on. But just get your vote. Know about your state. That's all I got to say. That's how I did it. Know about your state, at least.
Do you think that your vote matters? Like, do you guys really think that your vote matters? Or do you guys feel like, oh, well, why do I got to vote? Because I feel like there's those two beliefs where it's like, no, my vote don't matter. It don't matter. I'm just one person. But does your vote really matter?
Go ahead, you go first.
Absolutely, 100%.
Why do you feel like that is? Like,
because if it's one person over here vote, and then you talk with your friends about it, and then now you got your vote turns into like 5 because of you guys are just having like the political conversation, and now all you guys are like encouraged to go vote, and it kind of feels good to vote. It's crazy for me to even say that. You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of hard for me to vote because I know Republicans and Democrats, and when you know them first hand in hand, like everybody wants to feed their family. Everybody, they're all human at the end of the day. So that's why I still kind of have like troubles with it and stuff like that. But
yeah, I think it's just more of like people feel like, oh, when they get the envelope, they're like, oh, what the hell's this shit? And then I mean,
sure
I feel like Alfreezy might be one of those people. He's like, I don't know
sure.
what the fuck this shit is.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I do feel like, yes, it is important, and history does teach you, to be more involved. Learn about who's right, learn about who's wrong. Yep. But I feel like it's like people, even like a lot of influencers, they try to hide. It's important to hide it, to be neutral, because if you are very like out there with who you are gonna vote for, you get a lot of backslash. But it's like, at the same time, I feel like it's better to, I wouldn't say express your opinion, but also it just, there's so much backslash that comes with expressing who you want to go for, and it's like, fuck, if I say that, then what's gonna happen on my platform, or the fucking
you definitely kind of like draw a line in the sand when you do say who you want to vote for. I actually never do. I can argue both sides. Like there's times I'll go to the bar and just want to pick with people because I know I'm smart, and I just like, oh, who you voting for, and I just like pick. I can argue both sides. But to answer your first question about do I think the vote matters, I think it's two-parted. I think as black men, everything I say will always come from a black lens because I'm just a black man, and I think that's important. And I think there was a time where black people couldn't vote. There's times where women couldn't vote. There's times where people couldn't vote. So those ancestors who fought for the right to vote, I want to honor them by voting. I think if they fought for it and they died for it and it meant something to them, I'm going to vote. Now, on the other hand, I do have been kind of entertaining this idea that there is a shadow government where they just kind of pick who they want, and I'm still doing some investigative research on whether I believe that or not. But I'm not really sure. Like, even if you do vote, like they may say, well, we want Trump this time, or I think there might be a more powerful elite kind of behind that's like puppeteering the government. So I am kind of teetering down that line on my intellectual journey. But I think as a black man who's had ancestors who have fought for the right to vote, I'm going to vote no matter if it counts or not. But I do think there is a world where there's a possibility where there's a more powerful elites that are kind of puppeteering the Republican and Democratic Party. Unfortunately. I hate that. It's kind of conspiratorial, but that's how I feel.
No, that's true. And I agree. And I mean, of course, when it comes to, being authentic, that comes with voting as well. Like, but sometimes you want to hide that because you don't want the backslash. I think that's what it is. People don't want the backslash. Like, if I want to post who I vote for, people won't like me. But it's like,
and you got to get over that. People need to get over that because at the end of the day, like, it's okay to have the conversation. Now, you are going to have those snowflakes that are like, you know what, you're voting for Trump, I can't talk to you, or you're with Kamala, whatever. Like, you're going to have those people that are weak, but that's not a good indicator of why you should have someone in and out of your life. If you're not physically hurting someone or doing something wrong to children, just because you have a MAGA hat, I have friends that I love that are Republicans that vote for Donald Trump. I have people that I love that are very, very on the left, and I love them all the same. Like, that's not the indicator for me as to why someone's going to be in or out of my life. And I hate, because I've been a victim of that, because I've been to a Trump rally. And there was times where I went to one and people are like, oh, I'm done with Chris, block, unfollow. And I don't like that, because I'm still the same person. If I want to have an intellectual experience, or I want to learn something, or I have a question, or I want to maybe align more this way conservatively or more liberally, then give me the autonomy in order to do that. Don't just cancel me out because I may be entertaining an idea politically. I don't think that that's a good indicator of why someone should be in or out of your life. I think that's weak. Like, if you told me, hey, I'm voting for Trump, okay. If you say I'm more blue, I'm voting for Kamala Harris, okay. Like, I'm not going to be like blocking nobody because of where they line politically. To me, that's very, very weak, and it's unintelligent.
No, it's true. I agree. I mean, especially when it comes to, you know, all the politics right now is going down. You guys see the debate, you guys see everything right now. It's very important to be aware of what's going on.
Sure, 100%.
Be aware, be educated, and also make sure you guys do vote, because, like, you know, I mean, I think it does matter. I mean, especially when it comes to, you know, being, you know, making a difference. I mean, your votes will matter. But then also, you know, when it comes to this podcast, I want to thank Chris Sumlin and Alfreezy for coming on here from 98.3 where hip hop lives, with Jay Still, king of the radio station right now.
Yes.
Even though Chris be sending me these videos, I'm just like,
of Jay Still sleeping. Yeah. We love Jay Still. Shout out to Jay Still.
No, I love Jay Still, and you know, I appreciate everybody. You know, Laquan as well, man. His insights, his strength.
Appreciate you.
I know what he said right now about the TikTok, that before he didn't, you know, he was in a dark place, and you know, this podcast is getting him out of it, and he's like, that potential. And I want to say, I wouldn't write somebody if I did not believe that they did not have potential.
Appreciate you.
Like, real shit. I wouldn't be asking people to come on this show if I didn't see the potential. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has to realize their potential. Sometimes we get lost into the world where it's like, fuck, like, I lost who I am. How can I find it? It's always within yourself. Your potential's in here. And it's like, don't get so lost in the world. And this is what this podcast is about, is mostly, don't be afraid of the world. Be who you are. And in a world of judgment, in a world of, you know, what if I start this music and people don't like it? Or what if I start this business and it doesn't go up? I mean, it's like, if it doesn't go up at the same time, learn the process of what it takes to grow. Like, I would be connecting with musicians, connecting with somebody who's a successful business owners. Sometimes it's about changing the process, but don't change the journey. Change what you're doing, but don't change the journey. And I think right now we all kept it real, authentic. I mean, you said he was big, and it's like
I'm down 15 pounds. Shout out to the gym.
Shout out Chris.
No, but I'm saying, guys, this is a real, authentic, true to yourself. And I hope there's something that you learn from this. It's about being real, authentic, and true to yourself. I want to thank you guys so much for coming.
Happy to be here.
Make sure you guys tap into 98.3 where hip hop lives. Don't act like that ox cart work all the time. Peace out. No, for real.